Story, Inheritance of Ashes. Part 1, The Summons. Rain skidded across the windshield like marbles, heavy and relentless. Mira Keen tightened her grip on the steering wheel as the GPS glitched out again. For the last 10 miles, it had directed her to nowhere, miles of trees, wet gravel roads, and the occasional rusted-out signpost half swallowed by moss. Her phone vibrated on the passenger seat. Another text from Theo. "You really going alone? That place gives me the creeps." She didn't answer. Not because he was wrong, but because she didn't know how to explain it. Her grandfather's death hadn't surprised her. The old man had been sick for years, and they hadn't spoken since the last blowout fight nearly a decade ago. But what had surprised her was the letter. Not a lawyer's call or a formal document, an honest-to-God handwritten letter, delivered by courier with a seal she didn't recognize. "Mira. If you're reading this, I'm dead. There are things you must see. Things I could not explain in life. Come to the estate. No one else can claim it. Burn this letter when you arrive. You'll know when." She hadn't burned it. It lay folded in her coat pocket, dry and delicate despite the storm outside. When she crested the hill, the house finally appeared, more a fortress than an estate. Blackened stone towers rose against the storm-lit sky. Ivy climbed the walls like veins. The wrought iron gates were open, sagging on broken hinges. "This is a horror movie waiting to happen," she muttered, pulling up the winding drive. Inside, the house smelled of dust, old wood, and something faintly burnt. Mira stepped over a fallen chandelier in the main hall and switched on her flashlight. The power was long gone. The wallpaper curled at the edges, revealing charred patterns beneath, a strange motif of flames and symbols. She wandered room to room, heart pounding. Her memories of this place were blurred and surreal. A warm kitchen once, her grandfather's booming voice, the fireplace that never went out. The drawing room held a fire now. Mira froze. It burned low in the hearth, though no logs were in the grate. The flames danced pale blue. Her breath fogged. The air chilled. She stepped closer. The folded letter burned in her coat pocket. The heat was sudden, precise. She snatched it free, and before she could think, tossed it into the fire. The flames surged. The room shifted. Walls faded into dark ash. The floor cracked beneath her feet. Mira stumbled backward as shadows thickened, resolving into shapes, tall, faceless figures standing in a circle around the hearth. One of them lifted a hand. "You have come," it said, voice like cracking wood. Mira tried to speak. Nothing came out. The figure gestured to the fire, which twisted upward, forming symbols she did not recognize. She clutched her jacket, breath shallow. "Blood remembers," the figure continued. "You are the ember. The last spark." Suddenly, everything stopped. The figures turned to ash. The fire died. Light returned. And Mira was alone again. She found the study after that, just as she remembered it, except the desk was cleared of everything but a single journal. Opening it, she saw her grandfather's handwriting. The fire answered her. "Just as I feared, and hoped." The girl will not know what she is. Not at first. But the line cannot end. The ashes will burn through her veins if she resists. Mira closed the book, palms sweating. Her heart thudded. She heard a noise upstairs, a dragging step. Was someone else here? She moved quietly, holding her breath as she ascended the cracked wooden stairs. They groaned under her weight. At the top of the landing, a hallway stretched into darkness. She swept her flashlight slowly, stopping when the beam landed on a boy. He stood barefoot in the hall, no older than 12. Eyes dark. Skin pale. Clothes scorched at the edges. "Hello?" she whispered. The boy stared. Then he said, "You shouldn't have come alone." And vanished. Mira didn't sleep that night. She stayed curled in the study's armchair, wrapped in her coat, watching the hearth she didn't dare relight. By morning, the storm had passed. Fog coiled around the estate like a living thing. She brewed old tea in the dusty kitchen. The cabinets were full of oddities, herbs sealed in wax, labeled in Latin. A knife with runes etched into the hilt. A cracked mirror covered with red thread. This was no ordinary home. And her grandfather had not been an ordinary man. She needed answers. The local town was a 20-minute drive. She found a diner on Main Street, where the waitress blinked when Mira introduced herself. "You're Elijah Keene's granddaughter?" the woman asked. Mira nodded. The waitress glanced over her shoulder. "You should be careful poking around that place." "Why?" The woman leaned in. "People say strange things happened on that land. Fires that didn't spread. Shadows in the woods. The Keenes, they weren't like the rest of us." Mira tried to laugh it off, but the waitress didn't smile. Back at the house, Mira found the cellar locked. A rusted key in the study fit the door. The stairs creaked as she descended. Shelves lined the stone walls, filled with books, jars, and artifacts. At the center, a scorched circle ringed with candles. A figure sat in the circle. Old, thin, cloaked in gray. It lifted its head. Eyes black as coal. "You've come," it rasped. "Too late, perhaps. But come you did." "Who are you?" Mira whispered. "I am the last watcher. Keeper of the fire. And you are the heir." Mira shook her head. "No. I'm no one. I'm a librarian. I live in a third-floor apartment and microwave my meals." The watcher smiled, teeth like ash. "Not anymore." He gestured, and the circle glowed. He told her of the ash line, a bloodline bound to elemental fire since the days of the old rites. Her grandfather had sealed the house's power to keep it from enemies who hunted their kind. "You will burn, or you will rise," the watcher said. "There is no middle path." Mira backed away, heart pounding. This is insane. The watcher did not follow. "The others will come. They smell legacy. They fear your spark." Mira turned and fled. That night, the first threat arrived. A sigil burned into the lawn. Mira stared at it from the window, a jagged spiral of ash and salt. Around it, footprints led in and out of the fog. Inside, the hearth relit itself. The fire whispered her name.